Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about what you can post on Instagram while you're still writing and editing your book. So I'm doing Instagram tips this week. You may have noticed, or maybe not, but we're talking about Instagram this week because I just opened up the live round of my Instagram course. So I have a full course there, but it needs some updates. And so I wanted to do a live round so we can do the latest updated information and interact with you and get all of the things that you need answered, all of your questions, all of that, and have it be the most up-to-date information. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in my bio or the link below. But today we are going to talk about how to post on Instagram, what you should post on Instagram while you're writing your book. So on Instagram today, earlier, I did share a few tips, but these are just going to be other things that you can share that will give you some ideas of things to do. Now, this is also not just Instagram. This is any social media, really, or even a blog or an email. These are all things that you can talk about leading up to the launch of your book while you're still writing on it, while you're still editing, while you're still working on it and getting it ready to publish. Because sometimes when you start on Instagram, and you've probably heard that a lot of people say you need to get started talking about your book, you need to get people excited about it. And you do, that's very true. But you don't a lot of times know like what to post if you don't have a pretty book to take a picture with and do a selfie with. Those are certainly important once you have your book done, and it's very cool for people to see you with that paperback in hand or even a Kindle. But if you don't have that yet, here are some things that you can do to create content around your book that will get people excited for it and want to buy it when it comes out, when you don't have that yet to show for it. So we're going to keep this short. Number one is edited book excerpts. Now, I say edited. They don't have to be perfectly edited or exactly what's going to show up at the end of the book. I am a big fan of doing this because it helps people see your writing. It helps people get context. It basically gives them a sample of your writing. And so it's helpful to see that. So even when I'm drafting, sometimes I will share short little excerpts that I know, hey, and sometimes I'll even say, this is just I'm drafting. So this is not maybe what's going to end up in the book. It may not even make the final cut, but just to give people some insight into what I'm working on. This is a great option for people for authors on Instagram for Teaser Tuesday. So a lot of times I'll see authors share maybe a quick little quote from their book or an excerpt in a Teaser Tuesday graphic and or reel or something, and in the caption, so that it's just like kind of that weekly touch point that says, ooh, every Tuesday I'm going to share a quote from my book. So it can be really helpful to do that. Number two is show behind the scenes of really anything. This can be your writing process. This can be your writing space. For me, I'm sitting at my desk, which you can't see because you see behind me. I'm sitting at my desk. This is where I write. This is where I work. This is where I do all of the things. And so you could just flip that camera around and show the desk that you're working at, show your computer, show the decor you have that helps inspire you. I've got a poster I created of my first series up on the wall here, and I've got one of the TV show Haven, which I really love. And it's really inspirational to me because it's kind of like stormy. It's got that angsty thing going on. So, and actually the book I'm writing right now is very into that like stormy, angsty vibe. So it's really inspirational for me to have those things. And I just got all my notebooks and pens and stuff ready to go. And so it's really helpful to kind of show those behind the scenes things because people like to see that. It helps them connect with you. It helps personalize you. All right, I said I'm going to do this quick. Number three is updates on writing, editing, or publishing process. So wherever you're at in the process, you can always share updates of what's going on in your world, what's going on with the publishing. If you are drafting, maybe you can do updates on how many words you've written so far, how many words you think it's going to be. Sometimes you know and sometimes you don't. A lot of times you don't know, but if you're outlining and you have it kind of mapped out, you may have a better idea. For me, I just write, and then whatever comes out and the story's done, and I'm like, oh, that's my word count. So it's not so much planned in my head because I'm not a planner when it comes to those kinds of things. Or in the editing process, there's a lot involved in the editing process. So that's a lot of things you can share there. And then the publishing process, that can involve hiring a cover designer or hiring an editor or a proofreader or sensitivity reader, beta readers, any of this. All of this encompasses things that people could possibly use an update on. So it'd be good to give updates on that periodically, not all the time. But if you have something new to share, that would be helpful. Number 4 is get to know the characters, profiles, and or aesthetics. So I love to do this leading up to a book launch. I like to do it with all my main characters, and in the series that I'm writing, I even would do it for other characters that I'm introducing that are becoming more important to the story, more key characters. So you can do an aesthetic with them. Like I love to do, I love Canva. So if if you want any, yeah. Anyway, I can rail about Canva because I love it so much. It's amazing. It might turn into a rant, but I love it, love it, love it. So anyway, you can do like the like where you can do a bunch of picture collage. Thank you. You can do a collage of a lot of different pictures, and when you do that, you can create a collage that kind of encapsulates your character and their mood, and maybe certain things about them, certain things, their personality, maybe their job, maybe like in my case, a lot of my characters have superpowers. So what their superpower, like something that would show that. Maybe how they grew up, or just a general vibe of maybe what they would wear or something like that. So you can do a collage or just a picture, get maybe and have like a picture that's like an inspiration for that character, or maybe looks similar to the character in your mind. And so you can do those kinds of like get to know the characters, and the caption can be something like, and if you can do you can do a reel with these as well. But the caption or in the reel, you could show, maybe do an excerpt of them, or you could do a quick character profile of them, like explaining who they are and how they connect to the characters in your book, or just whatever you'd like to share, maybe just their name or something like that. But just to get people excited about the characters in your book, because a lot of times your characters will carry the book. All right. Book edits or aesthetics. So the same way about the characters, you can do it about the book in general and the vibes. You can also do it with the setting. So setting is very important in my series. And so I have, and the books that I've written, basically all the books. So setting helps give your readers kind of like gets into their head what the setting of your book looks like. So doing an inspirational pics for that can be helpful as well. The story behind the story and the story behind the character. So how did you come up with, how did you come up with the title? How did you come up with the names and places? How did you come up with the character names? How did you come up with the story idea? What was the story behind the story? So those can be really helpful to share as well, and super interesting for the reader and for other authors alike. A glimpse into the writing process and or like your research process. So for example, I love to, when I'm doing research, for a book, I will pull up something similar to like Google Street View, and I will like take on the journey. I've done this in previous books, like go on the journey that my characters would be going on and just see what they would be seeing. And it's really helpful. This is such a cool thing to be able to have access to now, where before you'd have to like fly there, drive, and be able to see it and do all that book research in person, which would be amazing to do, right? But now if you don't have the budget for that, you can just do it with like Google Street View or maps or something like that, and actually like dig in and see all the little details and actually be able to describe them that way, because you can visualize it. Another one, why you decided to write a book. Very simple, like how old were you? How did it work? When did you have the idea? That kind of thing. When you knew you wanted to be an author would be really helpful as well. If it was something in your childhood, if it was something that you just happened upon in adulthood and you loved it and you wanted to write your own book. You can also do, if you like, comp titles. So this can be really helpful. You can also do it in a reel. I think I did it in a reel for my last release. You basically just share the books that you feel are similar to your book, similar in feel, similar in genre, similar in just overall vibe. And that will give people an idea. If they've read this book, they're probably going to enjoy your book as well. You can also do a list of tropes in your book. This is popular for romance authors especially, but it can also be helpful for other genres as well. And then, this is kind of a fun one. You can do like a reels where you act out a scene in your book. And so I've been kind of toying around. I'm not the best actor. I just, honestly am not. It's not my thing. But you can maybe act out like a tiny little scene in your book, like something that happens or like brings out something. And there's a ton of other things. There's a lot you can do with reels, and that's something I'm going to be talking about in the upcoming live round of the Instagram for Authors course. So if you'd like to join that, I dropped the link in the description to the video, and on Instagram, it is in the link in my bio. So you can find out more about that and join the live round, because we'll be doing weekly updates to the course and give you all the latest information. So I'd love to have you join me for that. It starts next week. So Anyway, I hope these were really helpful tips and gives you a ton of ideas to start getting that content out on Instagram and talking about your book to get your readers excited about it. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.